Gorgeous gaming, stunning streams, unbelievable bandwidth. Welcome to another Lifestyles of Gagillionaires. Meet the AT&T Fiber customers winning at life with hyper-gig speeds. Say hello to the Walkers, a family of not one but 4 Gagillionaires, each living up their Gagillionaire life at ludicrous internet speed. First up, Anna Walker. She dominates streaming like the matriarch she is. No show ever goes unwatched under her watch.
Next episode.
Next up, Peter Walker. There's no stopping this dad bod from showing up to his virtual workout sessions.
Oh, let's go leg day.
And finally, the Walker twins. They may look alike but couldn't internet more differently. Harry dominates his fellow online gamers while Heather group video chats with friends.
Oh, nice background filter, Jess.
Live like a Gagillionaire. Get internet that upgrades everything. AT&T Fiber, now with speeds up to 5 gigs.
Limited availability in select areas. Speeds not guaranteed. Single device wired speed. Max 4.7 gig per second. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Champagne Sundays with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Big Blend Radio Champagne Sunday Show. We are airing live from Celina, Texas, and that's about an hour north of Dallas. As always, we're your hosts, Nancy Reid and Lisa Smith, the Crazy Mother-Daughter Travel Team. We travel across the country on our Love Your Parks tour, where we document parks and public lands. And we also publish Big Blend magazines, and there's Parks and Travel magazine, there's Eat, Drink, Be Merry magazine, there's Vacation Station magazine. The next one coming out is Quality of Life magazine. And we have a whole bunch more happening this year because it is our anniversary year, 25 years of Big Blend magazines and 15 years of Big Blend radio. So we have our blend of live broadcasts that we've been doing for 15 years, and then also our pre-records that you see that we have our Zoom video interviews, and but we're daily, so you can keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. So, Nancy, we've got an awesome guest joining us today.
I know.
Great musician. Great music. Very cool. Bill Jenkins is joining us. He's a keyboardist. Now, Nancy loves the keyboards. You know, she is one. Keyboard. No, she's not a keyboard, but she's a keyboard.
A keyboard? Okay.
Keyboard. Yeah, how does that feel, Nancy?
I know. Well.
Yeah. But he's the founder of what they're saying is a soft prog ensemble. It's prog rock, but it is, you know, it's got a lot of jazz. This album is amazing. It's called Always Be There, and the band is Vast-Conduit, and the album is coming out on February 16th. So we're going to play some of the music today, so you get to hear that. And I encourage you to go to their website, Vast-Conduit.com, and if you want to get the album, definitely do it on Bandcamp. Bandcamp is probably the nicest place for musicians because they actually do give musicians some of their money, which is nice. So anyway, so Vast-Conduit.com, but let's get Billy on the show. I was going to say Bill on the show and say hi to him. So Bill, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks.
Hey, great. Everyone, Bill Jenkins. So you founded Vast-Conduit, but I know a lot of people will know you from Enchant, also Thought Chamber. You've got a really amazing group. I mean, together, the talent is incredible. But welcome first, and tell us a little bit how this all started.
Oh, gosh. Well, I've been wanting to... you know, to write some of my own music and release it. And it just, over time, it just happened that I had crossed paths with some of these amazing musicians. And of course, the drummer, I've known him all his life, so that's a different story. But I, you know, crossed paths with these guys, and they were, I'd worked with them, and they were interested in working with me on this project. And so, that's how it came about.
That's awesome. And COVID, I think, helped a lot for creativity for musicians. You know, it sucks about live performance. That totally sucks. But,
yeah.
I mean, the last year, I mean, we can't wait. Our Celebrate the Creative Arts magazine is coming out, and we've been kind of stockpiling all these interviews, and you're going to be in it, you know, with awesome. That we've done over the year. And I think we should just release a music magazine. But then we have all the authors that were also just like here, cramming it out, you know. It was like this creative time. And so did that kind of help you along with the project?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it did kind of. I mean, there was more time to spend in the studio. So yeah, it did help, and time to focus because there wasn't as much going on externally.
Did you guys do it all virtually, or were you able to get in the studio together?
It was mostly all virtual. There's my son and the violinist both live locally, and so I could get together with them and track together. But everyone else is remote.
It's amazing.
But
it's amazing we can do that.
It is. Actually, some of the best times of this, and was during some of the I guess lesser intense COVID times. I was actually able to fly out to where Friel is and track the vocals with him and hang with him, and that was awesome. It was a really good time. Even just outside of doing the studio work was just being able to be with a friend and hang out after being cooped up with.
I know, right? I know it's like that whole thing of not seeing people, and everybody's like, it's just not the same on Zoom. It's so weird.
Oh yeah.
It's just because you miss everyone. It's just it's a different. Even the live streams that musicians have been doing have been fantastic, and thank God for them. But it's just not the same as being in the room where the music is live, right? And I think that's the same with, human energy of friends and family, not being in the room. Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not, but you know what might come out of COVID is once we're all free to travel and do what we want again safely, I think that especially in the younger generations are going to start getting back together and listening to albums together. Because you haven't been able to do things like that for so long. And that kind of went out the window a little while ago, and then COVID comes, and now I think it might research where people have listening parties, which I think would be way cool.
Yeah, I agree. That'd be very nice.
Yeah. So Always Be There is the album, and we want to play the title track. And we're going to play that. And then you are on our Champagne Sunday show, so I hope you have champagne. No, I'm just kidding. No one has to have champagne. But, it depends on, where you are in the world. But
I have a beverage here. It's not champagne, but I can toast with it.
That's perfect. That's perfect. But let's play Always Be There, and we've got a toast. This album is coming out on February 16th again, but you want to give us a setup to the song, or would you like people to just listen? What would you like?
Gosh, do I have a setup for it? I should have been prepared for this, but
no, we're chill.
I think it's the theme. I mean, it's kind of the theme of the album, and it came out of a particular time, and it's just all about, for me, it was a promise to my kids to always be there for them. So
nice. Well, you're on a mother-daughter show, and we travel full time. We run a business together. We have champagne together. And our life is a very hectic life, but it's one that we designed. But it's something that it's interesting when family dynamics get into the business world, and you're talking about your son. So I'm assuming drummer Will-Jenkins is your son, right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Will-Jenkins, that's your son, the drummer?
Yeah.
Yeah, playing together. I mean, and it's something we had a band together, Nancy and I did, and so it's a very interesting dynamic because there's there's the friend, family, parent, but no matter what, Nancy says, no matter what, I'm always your mother. I don't care what happens, and it's like, oh, yeah, it's true. And then sometimes I try to be her mother, but it doesn't work.
I'm not ready for that.
No, but it is
Right.
true. No matter what happens, because people are like, "How could a mother and daughter do this? You guys, do you fight? I mean, how do you
working
make it
together? Yeah.
Yeah, and we do have our fights, and they're pretty darn cool. Like somebody should just film it. They're very creative, and nobody wants to hear the language because apparently we're not supposed to have that language.
Like
but
Virginia
sometimes,
Woolf.
yeah, but it's swampy. No matter what, we're always there. No matter what, if somebody walked in on a fight where Nancy and I are arguing with each other and said something horrible to either one of us, we'd both turn on him. You know what I mean? It's like
that
no
would
matter
be
what.
dangerous. Mm-hmm. That would be a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I love that you are on our show, Champagne Sundays. It's perfect music, by the way, for it. So here it is. Always be there. Take a listen. Again, we have Bill Jenkins from Vast-Conduit, and I want to talk about the name too on the show with some of the songs from their upcoming new album. Always be there. Take a listen. You're listening to Big Blend Radio, Champagne Sunday Show with Nancy and Lisa. That was Always Be There, the title track to the brand new album coming out by the group Vast-Conduit. It's coming out February 16th. So go to Vast-Conduit.com or go to Vast-Conduit.bandcamp.com to get it online. So welcome back on the show. Bill, listen to that, man. I mean, did you listen to your song? I just want to say, yeah, so much. It's amazing, this album, how it flows. And I always talk about that on shows. Like, whenever I listen to music, it's like an album, it's got to flow together. And I always am amazed at albums like yours that have so much, so many different genres in it, It's hard. I love it when you can't go, okay, it's this, it's that. It is an album of beautiful music and that tells a story. And I love just how the guitar comes in and how the harmonies. Were you doing the harmonies? Is that all you doing that and putting it together that way? This is incredible.
Well, I'm not. I want to make sure I understand the question. I was singing harmonies along with Friel. Yeah. Okay.
On that, wow, that harmony part is amazing. Just how that all came together. It's beautiful. And then the guitar and the bass, the drum. I mean, it's just really amazing. Nancy, did you go to Natureland?
Yeah, Wales.
I knew it.
Wales. Yeah, that's the Wales song, man.
She went to the Wales.
Wales.
Yeah, because
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, there's a similar sound that Wales
like
made.
in the outro where
Michael's
kind of playing. Yeah,
and then
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and then the whale comes up and like your music comes up and you know what I mean? It's like I could totally see a whale in a video to that song. Yeah. I could totally see that. Yeah.
I want to ask about the bass. The bass, that is like a different sound in there. Tell us about the bass on there. And that's Jeff Plant, right? That's playing.
Yeah, Jeff Plant. Yeah, he's amazing.
Insane.
Wow, I can't say enough about that guy.
Nice.
But I mean, gosh. See, the problem is I love everyone's playing and performing on this album, and but I have to say, when I listen to Jeff's bass parts and the things that he's come up with, I'm so happy. I'm over the moon that he was, willing to work on this project.
Yeah, it's when you listen to it, there's so much. There's like jazz, and then it takes me into different eras of music too. And that's what I think is really neat. It's like different eras, and then when you think about the parent-child relationship theme and always be there, I think that's an interesting thing that you've managed to capture sound through the different eras of music and what was coming up. There's a little bit of like 80s heavy metal rock in there. There's what I mean? There's a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah.
Obviously prog, but to me it's a progression of eras, and that's what family is. It's a progression of eras still being connected.
Yeah.
Did you plan it that way? Did you write this?
No. I guess the nice thing about working on this myself and with these other musicians is we didn't care about planning and having it fit within some certain parameters. It's like however it evolves and whatever happens, as long as we all think it sounds good, then that's what it's going to be.
That's very cool because that's not always that easy to do, because everybody has a different take on things. But I mean, it's like I always compare artists to musicians. Like, it's really rare when an artist will let somebody else put even one dot of paint on their canvas. It's like, no, get out of my picture, So it's just totally, you know what I mean? So
I do, and and I know I've felt that way in the past, but in this particular circumstance with these guys, it's always been the case that they come in with something different, and it's like, wow, that's so much better.
Awesome.
So, So, maybe I'm just super lucky that's the case. That it's never been something where someone's come up with something and it's like, that's kind of not really working. It's always been, oh my God, I had no idea it could be like this.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's cool. That's cool.
Well, that goes to relationships, too. It's like if you give people the space to do what they really can do and have that openness, then you get that kind of reward. I think that's something, when musicians are seasoned, and that doesn't necessarily mean age. That's about, just having a respect for the music, right? It's like, no, we haven't, you're getting old. I'm going to put some seasoning on you to preserve you for a while. No, it doesn't mean that. It means, been around, and have a respect for the integrity of a song. It's like, what can I put forward? And if you don't think you have anything to really put forward, you don't. You know what I mean? It's really about the music, but it's about, someone who's, you're heading up the project here and the band, and this is your creation, your baby. That means you're giving people space and giving them a place and a safe space where they feel like they can contribute without drama.
Right.
And it can be there,
Maybe from their perspective, they're like, well, we're helping Bill along with this to make it something real.
It's a great album.
Thanks. And I was going to say, if you have any of that really good seasoning for preserving, I want to have some.
Listen, I'm sorry, but I'm all out. I'm like those people during COVID. I took it like the toilet paper, and it's all. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
I'm
kidding. No, I think we all need seasoning. That preservation thing would be great, wouldn't it?
Seasoning it has to include laughter. I think it's. Yeah. We have to laugh more and not get so upset over everything.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I think
that's true.
Yeah, I think that keeps you a little bit more. Well, it keeps you younger for sure.
Mm-hmm. That leads me to it's our Champagne Sunday show. We always usually start with a champagne toast, but when music's around, we got to play music.
We got to play music.
Yeah, because listen, music is just as important as laughter. Those two have to go hand in hand. We need them both in life, and for us, we also like our champagne. but anyway. So Champagne Sundays, it goes back to the very beginning when we started our show here on Blog Talk 15 years ago. We weren't even Big Glen, we were Southwest Glen at the time, and we didn't have sound effects to start the show. It would be because we were Southwest Glen, I went, yeehaw! Champagne Sundays. That was started the show. Like, it's the most hokiest thing, and then we'd interview people around the world, and it was like, okay, we got to not do that anymore. We got to behave. But Champagne Sundays, Nancy and I have had this tradition for years, and it's really not about champagne. It could be water, tea. You don't even have to have anything liquid. It is about every Sunday. Some people go to church. Everyone's got a different thing, but this is just our family tradition of, no matter what's happening in the world. And Nancy and I, trust me, I've been through, so much. We travel. We've been through a ton, and and no matter how bad it is, there's always something to be grateful and happy about. And it's about that importance of knowing that and acknowledging it and, sending that blessing on. And so we said, okay, if we're going to do champagne, if we're going to do this radio thing, we only started once a week. And of course now we're daily, but, we were like, we're going to do our Champagne Sunday and we'll have our champagne. And that way it'll be lighthearted. It's fun. We'll talk about anything we all want to, whoever comes on, whatever they want to talk about. And we always had to have this toast. And we've even done shows right in the middle of, someone has passed away, or we've done shows during really bad things happening. People I remember once doing a show, we won't go down that road, but it's about you can have happiness. So, Nancy, you're the mother, so what is your toast today? What are you happy about?
Okay, because we're talking music, I'm going to toast two things that happened on this day in the past. So, on this day, in 1943, Frank Sinatra made his radio debut on a show called Your Hit Parade. I toast to that because that's cool.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Yeah, I know. And then in 1965, the Righteous Brothers hit the charts at #1 with "You've Lost That Loving Feeling."
Oh, Nancy.
So you know I got to toast to that. You know, and then in 1981, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, and George Harrison recorded a tribute to John Lennon. So I got to toast to that. So I'm toasting music today like that.
Ooh. You know that Bob Marley was born today, right? Like.
Oh,
you know,
well, I toasted
when
that
the music
too.
hits, you feel no pain. Yeah. I gotta say that. Like it's
okay.
you missed out the Bob, and you know it's Bob's birthday.
Sorry. I didn't want to go on too long, you know.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's a dude. So Bill, what are you toasting to?
Oh gosh, how do I?
Well, you're the guest.
Up?
You're next you're on the spot here.
Nancy's obviously a professional toaster. That was.
Yeah,
that
well,
was
I bet a lot of practice.
No, you can toast to anything.
Oh, you know, I'm just thinking of, you know, just something simple, basic.
Yeah,
but
cool.
no, I'm gonna toast simply to family and good friends because that's
awesome.
That's what makes life worth living.
Exactly, that's a good toast.
I love that. It's true, and that goes kind of with my toast today. You know, we travel full time. And during COVID, we started, you know, normally it's hotels and all of that. And, there's nothing wrong with hotels and Airbnbs, and we love our bed and breakfast people, but sometimes you just really need to feel like at home on the road. Mm-hmm. And we started pet sitting through trusted house sitters. It's not a money thing. People are actually able to travel and have peace of mind when we get to stay and do our work and do our radio shows and hang out with animals, which we love, and plants, and, you know. And it's really awesome. And, you know, we go through a lot of changes. Obviously, with COVID times, you know, things get canceled. You know, it's always a different thing. And thank you, Bill, for rescheduling with us, by the way. One of those things that I want to toast really to this whole experience really has become absolutely incredible. No matter how hard it is through weather and changes, we have met the coolest people, like the animals, but the animals are always like there, you know, the dogs, the cats, the tortoises, the fish, all of it, like they're awesome. They've become like this broader family that we have of animals. Even though we don't have animals of our own anymore, we have this huge family of fur and fins and scales. It's really cool, and they're all part of it. And when people text me during the day, like, "Hey, my cat caught a bird. Look what Joker did." I'm like, "Oh, Joker, you did it again. You know, be nice to the birds." But like, it makes me so happy, and the people we've met, and just really recently, it just is this cool big family of people, and you just stay in touch. And I mean, it's a private thing. It's private because you're in people's homes, and so I just really toast to this other cool group of people, friends, family, that just, you know, you hang out with them. You don't know each other, yet we're all having this immersive experience, and you meet the coolest people through it. So I toast to this extended friendship and family circle that we have, because you sometimes just sit back and go, damn, this is the coolest thing on the planet, man. It's cool. So I toast to them, and I toast to Matt and Tanya, who just got married. So toast to you guys.
Yes.
Again.
Toast to you guys. Cool.
Yeah, but that's what it's about.
Congrats to them.
It's about. I think that happiness is so important. You know, I wanted to ask you, Bill, on the album, Always Be There, everybody. Go to Vast-Conduit.com, and I want to talk about the name. But one of the songs on there just kind of really hit me about society and how things are, and it's called "Too Busy." This song. And I think that is so important. It's on there, and you can take it different ways. But as soon as I heard the title and then listening to it, I was just like, you know, how many times do we just go, we're too busy, and then when things go wrong, you're like, damn, was I really too busy? You know?
It's always in hindsight. That's the problem with that.
Yeah. That's for sure. You know, it's really true, you know, because you get caught up, and then when you look at what you were caught up in, you're like, really? That was more important than this over here?
Right.
Yeah.
It's so hard to see that in the moment. It's so much easier to see it in hindsight. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I think that was really important, because when you and I'm looking all of this as, the family relationships and going with that and that too busy to pick up a phone or Zoom or however you want to do it or go around the corner. I mean, remember we used to have family dinners on Sundays, it's kind of like our Champagne Sunday thing, having that. But I do want to ask, Wesley, save us. Tell us about this, because that's a trip, man. That's the last song on the album, and it's a trip.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so what that's kind of a take on, there was an episode of Star Trek Next Generation.
Cool.
I think it was called The Game. And so the premise of it is, for people who are familiar with the show, they would know that Wesley Crusher is the son of one of the doctor or something in there. But anyway, this guy goes to, off on a vacation thing, and he comes back to the ship with this game, and it's this addictive game, and everyone on the ship becomes addicted to it. And it's up to Wesley and I guess another girl in the show to kind of save everybody from this thing, because they're the only ones that realize that that this is happening. And the show itself, I think, is pretty much looking at cell phones, right, and our addiction to them. And so so it's just kind of a tongue-in-cheek take on how they're awesome tools. I mean, cell phones, it's amazing what they can do, but on the other hand, it's like it like totally takes over our lives.
That's so true. Like one time, over a year ago, we were sitting on the balcony of our hotel room, having a cocktail as usual, and looking down at this lady who was walking through the parking lot, and she's looking at her phone, and she walked right into a car. It was the most amazing thing that she just walked right into it. I mean, it wasn't that the car was moving; it was a parked car, and she just walked right into it. And we were like, you know how they hold up the cards at the Olympics, 5'9", 5'9". We were giving them a score.
It's so nice.
That's a perfect score. I mean, honestly, I was envisioning having clips like that as part of a video if we get to make a video for this song.
Oh, cool! Hope you do it. Yeah.
Because that's kind of what it's about. Yeah, most definitely.
Oh, that would make a cool video. We should have the Olympics for a cell phone, like the text and walk, and we should.
Yeah, because you could have somebody like a guy in an elevator, and he's on his phone, and the doors open and close, and his tie gets caught in it, and he's still on his phone.
No, and he would still be on his phone. Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you guys see yourselves performing live together?
I hope so.
Cool.
That would be awesome. I just want to see you guys perform all of this. I mean, when you listen to it, you realize how much went into this, and then to be able to see that performed live would be so badass. It really would.
Yeah.
To just, I mean, so what keyboards what do you play? I mean, do you have a specific brand, or are you, one of those who just have like a gazillion sets of keys and pianos?
Actually, I mean, I love seeing that, right? I love seeing that on stage, like, when people have massive stacks of keyboards and all. But for me personally, I want it, especially after having done so many gigs and all that, it's like, I guess when other people are setting it up for you, it's their problem. But
the carding,
So what I usually do, I usually have two keyboards, a 61 key synth action, and then an 88 key weighted keyboard. So my main sound generating synth is the Korg Kronos.
Korg, yeah.
And so, so on the album, most of the sounds are from the Kronos. There's some pianos some of the piano sounds are from the Kronos. Some of them are from actually my acoustic piano, and then some from Ivory. And then I recently got this Kawai piano that, electronic keyboard that has an amazing action. It's like one of the best, most realistic piano feel actions, and so we use that as well. And then,
that's always so important. I always wondered about that because when it comes to keyboards, it's like it's so. It's like I like organs even like more because they seem to have more depth in the finger. Like there's just a depth to it. But depending on which one. But then there's like the electric piano. But then is it the same as bringing in those sounds? So always be there. What were you? Was that the acoustic piano or what did you play on that?
Well, if I'm being honest, which it was actually it was a blend.
You said the word. You get an extra
ding ding ding.
I didn't even think of that, but yes. When the music's going, it's a blend. The intro, the very intro part, I had recorded that early on, and so that's actually a Kronos based piano sound.
Wow, that's amazing. It's so. I always found that piano always hard to to get that sound, that authentic sound, and you have to find the right thing. And Roland was like one of the ones that I thought way back when that was doing good, depending on what you were doing. I don't think people want to cart like a huge thing around, but I understand what you mean. I mean, that's the thing, people don't realize how much work goes into a gig. It's like the setup, the takedown, the sound check. I mean, it's huge, the amount of work that goes into it.
It's never the same. Never the same.
Nope. I mean, we're always doing radio shows from a different place, and it's like do sound checks. Everything's fine until you start recording or go live. Then it's like,
when a cat jumps on the keyboard, meow.
Oh, that happens. Dogs do stuff, But okay, so performing live. All right. So have you had any of those horror moments when things just acoustics go down, or like some, strings break? That's not a big deal, but
stuff happens.
Actually,
have you had one of those?
Oh yeah, my biggest nightmare moment was I was touring with Enchant, and we were in Europe. And we were touring with Proberg and Musical Companion, great guys. And just before we were about to go on, my keyboard wouldn't start. It broke somehow.
Oh.
And and with the Enchant stuff, it's like there's just a ton of different sounds and. And I have different sounds and different zones on the keyboard, all that kind of stuff. And so it's like, what are we going to do? And so I ended up using the other guy's keyboards, and and so it's like the crowd's just waiting for us to start, and he's up on stage, and I was like, hey, okay, so I need a piano sound, I need an organ sound, a lead sound, and a string sound, and just trying to make it work with that. And that was stressful.
We played at Street Fair in California, and I was supposed to, Lisa announces on the mic, and here comes the USC marching band.
It was a joke.
And I hit the wrong key, the setup key.
It's like an oboe came out.
The oboe came out.
It was great. It was great. It was great.
It was so funny.
Oh man! And touring though, that's got. I mean, how many countries have you been to? Do you think touring wise? Is it mostly Europe, or have you gone to Asia, or?
Mostly Europe, not Asia. I've been to Asia a couple times, but that's through my work, through my day job. Yeah, mostly Europe. So I don't know, 10 countries, maybe something like that.
Yeah, isn't it wild how the Europe? I always bring this up on shows. I can't help it because it still blows my mind.
Yeah,
how we have to have bands travel like if a band comes from Europe over here, we're all like, yay, oh, they came from Europe. And if a band from America goes to Europe, the Europeans are, hey, they came from America, they're here. I don't understand this. I mean, to me, it's music is music. It's great who, what, and where. It's like I'm always interested where people come from and everything, but it's like music is music, man. Good music is good music. But the touring, I think it's mostly for blues though that they, for some reason, have to go over more. Like blues and tend to have to do that. But it's cool to tour because people get to see you live.
Yeah.
That's the cool part of it. But I often think that you see that Europe really accepts new music quicker than we do in this country sometimes. It
seems that way.
Yeah, I think especially more in the blues. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, the other side of it is it's regional, especially depending on genre. Progressive rock is not mainstream, right? So there's certain parts of the country that really don't have much of a fan base, but there are others that there's a lot of people that like it.
I just never even called it progressive rock. I didn't even know there was a name for it. Like I just listened to certain things,
it's so
and just I'm really bad at the genre thing. I will say this, that a lot of country is not country music anymore. I will say that it is not country music, and I don't know what it is, but there's some weird pop thing with screechy voices that needs to stop. And then rockabilly is cool, and there's just this. I don't know what they're doing lately, but it ain't country music. I'm just saying. It's just but it's this whole thing. We have to label everything. I get it, and it makes sense for marketing and everything. But like prog rock to me, I did not know that was prog rock. I think only because of Billy from Glass Onion did I learn, oh, this is prog rock. And then I'm like, what the hell is that? Oh, this is music I've been listening to, all my life. I just didn't know, I just didn't know. Well, but
it's difficult when it's a little different than mainstream, where they, the labels are a bit more concise, I guess, and we struggled with that, because I mean, honestly, there's bits and pieces of the album that are progressive, but you can pick any section of it, and it would be a different genre, and so how do you bring it all together into one, and so it's hard.
It's funny how they do that in music, because I mean, if you're a chef, you don't want to you might want to make dinner one night. Thank you.
I can have cake for dinner.
I know, but do you know what I mean? Is why should you be narrowed into this kind of it has to be this, and that's what you're known for. If you do anything outside of it, I think it's cool to just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but I think it is useful, for anything to be able to describe it and have someone have an idea of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think your music's a lot of fusion in there. I hear a lot of jazz in it.
Yeah.
And
there's
a lot of jazz, but like good stuff. It takes you on a trip. And I think that's the thing. Mm-hmm. Like to me, when you plug in and want to listen and you really sit and listen, you want to go somewhere. And you really do that. You take us, all over, and you're not expecting every place you're going, and then you're there. Like, oh, thank you for that. That's cool. So I think it's one of those albums you can listen to over and over, and you're going to hear something new each time, and that's always deliciously cool. For music lovers, we want that. We always seek we want what's the next adventure. So I think your album has a lot of that in there.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Now, I want to ask about the name Vast-Conduit. I feel like we are teaming up. I mean, you could do like a sci-fi soundtrack, couldn't you? You could do that. You could.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's that. So, I mean, it started. It's just okay. I'm writing these songs. I want to, sort of do my thing. But then, I ended up being, in a situation where I'm looking up at these giants, these musical giants that are playing with me. I was like, that's really not a solo album. And I was talking with my kids about it because they're kind of my consultants on this sort of thing, because they're a bit more in touch with what's going on than I am at times, most of the time, all the time maybe.
Oh, you're
like,
so
yeah,
much
Dad.
trouble now that you said that.
Yeah, Dad, this should not be like Bill Jenkins and whatever. And so, band names, it's so difficult. But, but I guess there's two themes to all this. The album itself will always be their theme. And then the Vast Conduit idea is it's really that the universe kind of provided these great musicians. And so the vastness was kind of the vastness of the universe, and the conduit is the means by which we all got together and met through this lucky, fortuitous, blessed circumstance, however you want to frame it. That's my view of this.
Cool. It's a happy accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I wrestled with the name for many, many reasons, but you got to pick something that no one else has. So there's a lot of good names already taken. But it kind of works, I think.
I like it.
It's different.
Yeah,
I like it.
different. I like the word vast
because
I like vast because it says no boundaries.
Yeah,
I like
and that's
that.
Yep, and that
like
fits
that.
too, because I don't want any boundaries on this. It's really
I like
it's
that.
kind of an open project, right? Where can this go? What can we do? Of course, we want it to be good. Ultimately, I want other people to enjoy what they're listening to, because otherwise I just do things in studio and it stays there, and if I like it, then great. But why go through the effort? It's all about sharing the creations with other people, and hope they like it.
That's why you have conduit, because it's vast, and then you got the underground,
spark
above ground, and it's
spark.
running like things through the underground, and it's on the streets and in the air. It's conduit. And it's going.
Nancy's going.
I'm going, dude. I see it in my mind.
She got zapped, dude. Like, I don't know what's going on. Nancy's off and running. What's in your champagne, girl? She's tripping out. We used to play with this drummer, Willie. Willie was like the shuffle king of San Diego, and we lived in San Diego. And
Willie Kellogg.
Willie Kellogg. He played with. He toured with Moby Grape and Flying Burrito Brothers and everyone. And we used to play with him, and just he was the coolest dude. And rest in the shuffle, dude, up there wherever he went.
He's shuffling wherever he is.
He is shuffling wherever, when you pass on. He's shuffling. He still drove his same VW Bug everywhere, and he packed his drums in and everything. But he'd sit there and say to Nancy, and he really enjoyed his weed. He loved his weed. And he'd look and go, Nancy never needs any of this. She's got the butterfly people. She sees the colors, man. She sees it. He says, I have to go sit on a rock and smoke all this weed, but Nancy, she just can sit there and see it, and she's off and running. Butterfly person. He was crazy. But he would enjoy your moment there, Nancy. It's true.
Yeah.
So he was awesome. He was just the best dude, man. He was just so that shuffle, and he could just bring you up in the tempo just a little bit, and just a little bit, He guided,
Right. I have to interject that my first car was a VW Beetle, and
sweet.
And your friend was a drummer, and kind of our first percussive instrument was that Beetle. My high school friends, we would be parked in a parking lot, just being goofy, and we would use it as a percussive instrument. And, if you hit the windows with the palm of your hand, it can have a really nice deep kind of bass drum sound, and there's all the metallic things you can do. I kind of wish I could have sampled some of that.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Back in the day, but
you could do that.
Man, I love those bugs. Now they have those other, like, fake bugs, you know.
the newer ones, yeah.
The faux, I should say faux bugs. You know, it's just not the same.
Faux bugs.
Faux bugs.
Yeah, but it was so cool. His bug was cool. It went up in the mountains where we were living, and he'd come up, and you know, and I was like, how did you even make it? And then we played with a guy, Joe Scott Hill, was also Canned Heat and Flying Beer Brothers, and he was like wacky. And one day put on this big show to do a fundraiser for kids with music, and all of them arrived to do this concert. And somebody was high on something, and next thing you know, Willie stabbed somebody because his cane had a little knife in it in the middle. He's a walking cane. He's a little dude. And Joel went crazy, and he's gone now too. He's passed on. And he's like, I stabbed the devil, because we used to call Joel the devil. You know, he's a hell of a guitarist, but he's like, I stabbed the devil. Anyway,
but he didn't really stab him.
That's because he didn't go in his VW that night. And if he was in his VW, he would have been fine. And, you know, that VW went everywhere. It's amazing. But where did you grow up? Where were you? Like, so we can picture, so Nancy can have a little her visual there.
For the VW, that was in Pontiac, Michigan.
Oh, no way.
Cool.
Right on. So you were raised in Michigan?
There and in outside of Philadelphia. Were sort of my two childhood areas growing up. Yeah.
You know, there's good music that comes out of the Midwest, man. Seriously. Obviously Detroit, right, and everything. But, like, I don't know what is going on there, but amazing music. Is it the winters that everybody's, like, you know, kind of like COVID, you know, inside drinking beer? I don't know, but what is going on?
There's, you know what? I'm going to refrain from trying to... you know, say why that would be, but it is what it is for sure.
The music is amazing,
and I know.
I mean,
and
even now,
I know Detroit. You know, when I was growing up, listening to rock and roll music, and we kind of prided ourselves as being one of the best audiences for rock bands to play to, because there's just something about, I don't know. It was just
something that happens there.
It's because there's a rhythm. We notice as we travel, there's rhythms to different cities and towns and nature spots. There's a rhythm. Yeah. So when you're talking Detroit and you're talking Midwest and you're talking this, there's a rhythm. You can, I will sometimes think, look, the birds are flying to the rhythm of where they live. They're not flying the same as when they migrate. That's my own personal theory, that they change their wing beat, if you will, as they migrate, because how you're flying in Detroit is not how you're flying in Canada. No.
Wow, not even just
and then
fly over
when
a
they
river.
turn around and go to Mexico, they're not flying the same there either. They get real slow.
Right. There it is.
Well, relax.
Oh, right. So where are you now, Bill? Where do you live now?
I'm in California. Living in California.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
cool.
You've got good wine out there. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That, I think. Yeah.
No,
we've been through there.
There's a lot of wineries here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's bumper stickers here that Napa is for auto parts and Livermore is for the wine. Or, something along those lines.
That's a good one. Yeah, Nancy, you and I we went there, Livermore, once, and we had wine. And it's got like a really nice downtown. I remember that. And remember that? We went with Bad Betty.
There. Yeah.
Yeah, we were taking Bad Betty across the country, and Bad Betty was a Bad Betty. And no, we were taking her up to Washington State, and we were on a road trip, and then we went into a wine bar, and then we realized we needed to keep going, and Bad Betty didn't want to leave the wine bar. I remember that.
We had to stuff her in the trunk.
What wine bar did you go to?
I don't know, but it was downtown, and there was like a wine bar, and then I think we went and ate food because she needed food. She was an elder lady, but she wanted her wine bar, and so we took her to the wine bar. We drove her from southern Arizona, to Washington State, to Yakima, another good wine area. And then she wouldn't get out of the wine bar, and we're like, Bad Betty, you want to see your daughter? You need to leave the wine bar and let's go across the street. And there was like it is by I remember the wine bar, and then the restaurant was across the street. It's like almost like where you could have a traffic circle, but there isn't a traffic circle.
It was on the corner.
Yeah, it was on the corner. I don't know what it was.
Really nice and sunny on one side and shady on the other.
I would say this is about 14 years ago.
Yeah,
12 years ago? It was a long time ago, to remember the place. But we've had Livermore on our shows. We Travel Writers talk about it, and it looks.
That's a really nice place.
Yeah.
Not close to the bay, all of that, and mountains and all that. Yeah, very cool. So let's talk about Philly. We talked about the Midwest, and you talked about Philadelphia. So Philly etymology. I've been wanting to play this. I love this song. So and you've got a guest on there. So let's talk about trumpets.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is.
You want me to talk about that now?
Yeah. Tell us who is playing the trumpet. Tom Abrera. I'm not going to say it right. I don't want to be wrong here, but I'm always wrong.
Abrera.
Tom Abrera.
Yeah. So he's actually my brother. I guess if you're going to be technical about it, he's my half brother. We had the same mother, and that's why different last names. But so he's my brother. Philadelphia. It's about brotherly love. I had forgotten about the main chord progression is something I had come up with. I don't know, maybe 8 years ago or something like that, and I had recorded it on a video clip, and I totally forgot about it. And then in 2020, like mid-2020, I ran across it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. And and it just flowed into a full song really quick. And the idea of having a trumpet lead, or have it be a little more jazz, came to mind, and I was like, I know my brother is a great trumpet player, and it would be so awesome to have him play on it. And he was able to do it, and that was another trip that I flew out to his place, and we recorded his trumpet parts, and it was
cool.
It was great. It was amazing.
So is he in Philadelphia now? Did you fly to Philadelphia?
No, he's in Florida.
Oh, nice.
So I
this time of year we all go nice.
Yeah.
Some of the driving we've done through ice and snow. Yeah, we like Florida. Yes, here it is.
Yay.
Well, Philly etymology. Take a listen. Again, everyone, it's from Vast Conduit, and you can go to vastconduit.com. Also on Bandcamp, it's from the album Always Be There. listening to Big Blend Radio with Nancy and Lisa. And again, that was Philly Etymology from the album Always Be There, and that is by Vast-Conduit. And we've got Bill Jenkins, the founder of the group and keyboardist, singer, and writer of all the songs here. And Philly Etymology, again, we've got the amazing trumpet player on here that I just really, when you think about listening to, when you listen to this, he's going off and he's playing, and you're listening to Jeff go off with the bass, and how he's just like right there, like in the pocket. Then your son, Will, on the drums and the keyboards, how you just, dude, like what you doing, man? It's like, it's a really good song. It's amazing. And
it should be in a movie.
I know, and again, when it's Tom Abrera on trumpet, but you've got some other musicians, we should say, in the whole band, right? You've got Friel on vocals, you've got you, Bill, on keys, backing vocals, your son Will on drums, Michael Harris on guitars, Jeff Plant on bass, and Jim Hurley on violin, too. Jim is amazing. Yeah. I mean, everybody is freaking awesome.
Amazing,
Yeah, and so...
Yeah, like I said, I'm lucky enough to, these guys are all, orders of magnitude better than me, and I love it. It's great.
It's awesome
working with these guys.
It is awesome, and you've got the people coming in like Tom as a guest artist, but like he just he's like a vocalist, right? The lead singer and that.
Well, this is the thing. This is why I wanted him, or a lot of the choices that I've made is he's my brother. I've known him my whole life, but he says things like, in the past, he's taught trumpet in some places, and he'd say, when students would come in, he'd say, well, it's not about being Maynard Ferguson and hitting the highest notes. It's like you got to make a sound that's pleasant, that's pleasing, and working on the tone and all that sort of thing. And it's like, well, that's that's the important thing to me. It's like, okay, I know he's gonna have a great tone, and I know he can play the lines. That's not a problem at all. But it's also about sounding nice and pleasing.
That's not an easy instrument to play. The trumpet.
And that song's so smooth, and it just keeps flowing like that. That is not even like. I mean, to me, that would be a hard track to do. But I don't play the trumpet. But to me, the way he's got that flow that just keeps going,
I don't play trumpet either, so that's a whole foreign thing. I'm glad the people that do it can do it.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, what was it like producing the album? You produced it with your son. What was that like together to put this together?
That was awesome. It was amazing. I had this. He would send me the drum tracks, and I had this particular way that I like to mix them and I like them to sound and all. And then so I would do this, and then he would come in and he'd say, "Okay, Dad, I think you have the overheads swapped or something." He'd just or the phase is swapped, or he'd just hear things that I wouldn't hear. I couldn't hear. And so he's very much dialed in, and so he changed around some of the plugins we were using for the drum sounds, and so it would come out. It's like, oh yeah, that makes it sound so much better. So,
cool.
And then, there were certain choices I would make. There's some vocalizations and other things that didn't make it on the album, and my son and probably everyone else is happy, because he would say, yeah, I don't think that's working quite right, and I'd wait a day and I'd go back and listen to it and like, yep, he's right. That's it works better without it, and so it's really good. It's been really good working with him,
That's that kill the baby thing where, in editing, like we do it on the editing side. That's what we always say. It's like, you really want this in because of this, but it really doesn't belong there, and you have to kill it. And then we go, oh, God, we just killed another baby. But then the baby will end up in another thing somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's like it just wasn't meant for that project. You have to, take the baby, put it, save it, take care of it, because it'll go and maybe it'll end up being its own album or something else. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a, that's such a process, and it's hard not, you hear something, you want it this way, but it's better that way, and it's hard to sometimes let go of that. For writers, it's a difficult thing. It's just, you want something. Yeah, it's a, like, damn it.
Yeah, but it's also good. It's also good as a writer to have that external feedback to help you consider and think about things that you may not be seeing at the time.
That's why I think that goes back to Nancy saying about the artists on their own versus the musicians coming together. This is where this whole other sound, it just elevates everything.
You want to. You also. It's hard because you want to be current. Like, you want people to like it. Sometimes you're ahead. Sometimes you're behind. So having more than one opinion is actually a benefit. Because everybody, whether you're painting, writing a book, or doing music, it's nice to know that your work may carry on after you're gone. But quite frankly, you want it to be here now while you're here, and that's not that easy sometimes, So, and there's so many different opinions and so many different people likes and dislikes and opinions that it's kind of a tricky road, And then at some point you just get to the point where you're like, let's just put it out there. We've got to do it and move on and do it again and again and again.
Right.
You do. Yeah. Because you can't make all the people happy all the time.
Well, you've got to have your integrity to your music or whatever your creative project is.
Yeah.
It is the integrity.
You have to like it. You have to like it.
Yeah.
You have to like it first. You really do.
Yeah, have you put music out that you didn't like?
Have I?
Yeah, I have, and it sucks, and I regret it every day.
I've been lucky enough that I have not.
I think. Fortunately. Yeah, well, that's integrity. That you like what you've done, so it's okay. It's out there, and it's. Yeah, there's that. It's an interesting balance when you have people come together, and it sounds like you scored for sure. You've got good people. You have great guests. We're going to close with Early Eclipse, and this is one of the. It was Always Be There and Early Eclipse. Those were the first two songs that really catapulted this into an album. And I heard that you've already got another album in the works. Is that true?
Yes. It's in the very, very early stages right now, and we'll see, how quickly I can, get it.
Very exciting. Yeah, this is exciting. Everything. This album's coming out. Always Be There again. Everyone, February 16th. Vast-Conduit.com. You can get it on Bandcamp, and Bandcamp is the best place. I'm sorry. And this is an independent music store, etc., that you can buy music. Just saying, because they are, right, Bill? They are.
Well, I think so. These
I'm
days,
just saying,
there's all kinds of turmoil in that
in that world
about all that stuff. Yeah.
So you might want to just go to Bandcamp, and then there's Bandcamp Fridays where all the money goes to the musicians. So that's even cooler too. So they seem to be the outlet that actually does pay musicians more than a penny for 100,000 downloads. But.
Right.
But wherever people want to get it, right? Is it going out on all the platforms? Because everyone does have their thing.
Yeah, cool. February 16th. We're going through TuneCore, and they've got the whole bunch of streaming services that they that they send it out to.
So yeah, so everyone, you can get it on your favorite place. Are you going to do actual CDs, or is this all going to be online?
Yeah. There's actual CDs.
Cool.
Right now, they're just available through our website, but we're trying to figure out. I have a friend with a couple friends, Bandwagon USA, and hopefully we can get something going in Europe and all that, because right now, you pay more for shipping than you do for a CD if you're ordering internationally,
right.
And that's just crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, hopefully that will turn around. That is the beauty of streaming, though, and getting things digitally, that it can connect across the world, around the world.
Right.
But I love that CDs are making a comeback. Here we were getting excited, vinyl, making a comeback, and CDs are making this comeback, and I think people are just getting back down to some roots of reality, and I think that's great, because there's an art to it. Putting an album together is an art, like the single, So I'm excited. I think that's also the cool thing about COVID and musicians they just kind of like did actual full albums instead of just the singles. And I understand the single thing, but the whole album, when you can really dig in, is just so magic, So, yeah.
Well, and we were talking about, working with my son, and the other awesome aspect of this is, I got to work with my daughter as well on the artwork.
Jessica.
They did they did the artwork.
Cool. That's sweet.
That was totally all their thing. I had a completely different idea, and they ran with it. Actually, they looked at it and went, no, I think this will be better. And again, it is one of those things where let the people have their creative freedom, and it it always works out better.
Yeah.
True. Take that, Nancy.
Yeah. True. It's true.
We're about to publish a magazine, so we're at that point. It's like, no, what about this? And it's like, no, I want it this way. No. So we have. It's like, okay, Nancy, you have creative freedom. She's like, I always have creative freedom.
That's right. If I take it, I'll take it.
And then I'll go, okay, and so it is fun, because we really do. It's like that. If anybody, that's how we argue. It's that, but it's always about making it better, and it's just there's this frustration of making it better. And so that's why we do have music, we have nature, we have dogs and cats, and we have wine and pizza. Pizza.
There you go.
Yeah. So, but it all works out. But the creativity is great, and it does need space. Just like bread needs to rise, it needs the space in the pan to do it. So, sometimes we're just at the kneading position of the recipe.
Right.
So eventually the bread rises, and oh man, who doesn't like a good piece of hot, freshly baked bread with real butter? Like, seriously. and cheese, like cheese. I know I shouldn't be eating cheese, but like a really good piece of brie, it's Champagne Sunday. Yeah. We can have all of this. We can do anything we want. So let's play Early Eclipse. You've got some guests on that too. You've got Betsy Walter on vocals on Early Eclipse, and Bert Lambs on acoustic guitar. Missing anybody else? I want to make sure everyone. You've got a lot of people on this.
Oh gosh.
I know.
Yeah, that song had the most people. But gosh, if I missed someone else, but I was all six of the band members, and then Betsy had a vocal part in the solo in the middle, and Bert on acoustic. I think that's it. I think that was
okay. It. Well, we're going to close with that, and thank you so much, Bill. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show.
Oh, yeah, it's been a pleasure for me too. Thank you for having me.
Well, next time we drive through Livermore, I'll call you. We'll go have wine at whatever corner it was that we were in.
If it's still there, depending on which place you were at, hopefully.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I'll know it when we get in there, but Betty will not hold us back. But here it is. We're going to play this. I love this. I'm glad we're going to close with this. So here it is. Early Eclipse. Again, everyone, Vast-Conduit.com. Thank you, Bill. Everyone, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday and a great start to your week. Take care, everybody. And remember, raise a glass, a cup. Just raise a hand to all the joy in the world that's there.
Mm-hmm.
If you are at your happiest when you interact with people, love creating new dishes in the kitchen, or simply have a cheerful smile and a heart for service, the hotel industry wants to hear from you. The hotel industry offers competitive pay, flexible schedules, generous benefits, and some exclusive perks. It's a team-oriented community that supports each other, with 200-plus career pathways available and a fast track to senior-level positions. Check them out. Visit thehotelindustry.com to learn why this is a place to grow, to succeed, to stay. Go to thehotelindustry.com today.
To show you how easy it is to file a claim with Geico, we hired a nature show host.
In the native habitat of a suburban driveway, the poor victim of a broken windshield is left assessing his vehicle, utterly helpless.
Well, not true. If he's got Geico, he can file a claim online, over the phone, or with his handy mobile app.
But like a lone gazelle, he'll suddenly be left to fend for himself, awaiting his terrible fate.
Nope. Geico will assign him a designated claims team to help him out, too.
So the gazelle gets his car fixed and everything. Wow, nature is so cool.
Geico. Great service without all the drama.